Welcome to the Diamond District, everyone. Check us out on Facebook and Twitter, GoGoDiamond, one word. A new study finding some surprising and stunning statistics about how safe you are while driving. You know that email or text message that you just have to read or send while driving? Well, it's more dangerous to do that than you think. It's being called the distracted driver, and it's worse than driving drunk. Joining me in the Diamond District today from Washington, D.C. is Patrick Bauer from Drive Safely Corporation. His company has developed technology that could stop you from texting while you drive, and they say it could save your life. Thanks so much for joining me in the Diamond District. First of all, tell us about this summit. It was a two-day summit going on there in Washington, D.C. on Capitol Hill, specifically about this problem of the distracted driver.
Yes, thank you, Rebecca. The summit focused on three main items: governance, legislation, and enforcement of distracted driving laws. Secretary LaHood, along with Senator Schumer, has pushed very hard to enforce laws down to the states that will require them to have governance that prevents drivers from driving while texting.
Right, because so far we have 18 states, along with Washington, D.C., where you are, that have passed laws that make texting while driving illegal. 7 states, including D.C. again, have banned driving while talking on a handheld cell phone. You need the Bluetooth to get that done, to talk on the phone. Do you think more states are going to start passing similar legislation?
I do think that the states will accept it, as with the laws, or with the push by Senator Schumer and Secretary LaHood. The real problem is going to be enforcement of these laws. We need to give law enforcement, the police, the tools they need to enforce these laws once they're put into place. And our technology allows us to do that.
Okay, so tell us about this technology. What is it called, and how specifically does it stop someone from texting or reading an email while they're driving?
It's an anti-messaging device, and basically what it does is whenever a phone has a velocity or a speed of greater than 12 miles per hour, it disables all of the input capability and the receiving capability of the phone. It does not prevent you from doing any emergency calls or any other types of calls or emergency messaging, but it does prevent you from doing text messages or on smartphones, surfing the web, or instant messaging of any type.
How do you tell that the person's driving and not a passenger?
Well, that's a great question, Rebecca, and something we worked very hard at. Our proprietary product actually has an attention requirement that you have to input when you are a passenger versus a driver. This is something that would be nearly impossible for a driver to ever do while driving, but it would be very straightforward for a passenger to do while in the passenger seat.
Oh, so Patrick, you're hoping, I saw that in the PowerPoint presentation that you did there on the Hill, or one of your colleagues from your company, and that you have to punch in then 1, 2, maybe capital H, and then a small c, and so forth. But what about the driver is in while driving to put in all that complicated request? Then it's actually making it worse while they're driving.
Well, that's true, Rebecca, but the simple example that you had there, it's much more complicated than that, and there's multiple layers that you need to go through. There is no silver bullet to this, as Secretary LaHood said. We need to start implementing the laws and the abilities and technologies that allow us to enforce text and stopping people from texting and driving.
Right.
So we are working closely with different universities to help that attention validation process.
Because it is a bad problem. I didn't realize myself how much of a problem this is. It's worse than driving like 8 times being at above the legal the drunk driving limit. 0.08, is it?
That is correct. This problem is 3 times worse than driving while intoxicated. And we've already determined that driving while intoxicated is unacceptable in this country. We need to do the same thing for driving while texting.
So do you think that your technology is the one that law enforcement is turning to? Because I know you guys are involved in the summit going on in Capitol Hill. The only thing is that a lot of people are anti-government intrusion right now, Patrick.
I agree. We want to work closely with both the government, DOT, as well as with local, state, and local officials to implement a system that is workable for everyone. We don't want to impose on anyone's civil liberties, but at the same time, I will tell you, no text message is ever worth someone's life. And after meeting some of the people at this summit that have lost loved ones, there's no way, I know no message I've ever sent in my life has ever been worth anyone's life or anyone's injury.
Wow. Well, I'm always telling my husband, stop texting, pay attention to your driving, because he's texting, trying to read it, driving like this. So good point. Patrick Bauer with Drive Safely Corporation. Thanks so much for joining me in the Diamond District.